あずあず構文、自分で作れますか？突然ですが、あなたはあずあずって使えますか？実は使いにくくないですか？私嫌いだったんですよ。なので覚えたものだけしばらく使ってたんですね。一番聞き覚えあるのがおそらく as soon as possible, as soon as I can このあたりじゃないかなと思うんですよね。このあたりは抵抗ない人も多いんじゃないかなと思うんですよ。で、これってなんでなんでしょう？これは慣れてるからなんですよね。何度も聞いて何度も口にしたから慣れてるんですよ。ということは、裏を返せば慣れればしっかりあずあず構文を使うことができるようになるんですよね。今日のビデオは以前の英語シャワーのコメント欄にいただいたリクエストを採用させていただきました。というわけで、あずあずのシャワーを浴びてくださいね。さあ、シャワーに入る前にこの動画の使い方を説明しておきます。この動画はひたすらいろいろなあずあず構文の音声が流れてきます。順番は日本語、英語、英語です。再生スピードを遅くして日本語の間に英語を考えるようにすると超鍛えられます。通常スピードでただただ聞き流すだけでも1週間やればあずあず構文に約80分ほど当てることになるので、かなり抵抗がなくなるはずですよね。賛否両論あるものの睡眠学習したい方は寝ながら流すのもいいかもしれません。もちろん止めながら一緒に英作文してもらうのも非常に効果的です。いろいろな使い方があるので、ぜひお好きな方法で試してみてくださいね。それでは早速英語のシャワーを始めますね。
左はジャイアンの歌レベルに方向音痴だ。
Hillary's sense of direction is as terrible as John's singing. Hillary's sense of direction is as terrible as John's singing.
彼は彼の兄と同じくらい速く走る。
He runs as fast as his brother. He runs as fast as his brother.
私の犬はあなたの犬と同じくらい遊び好きです。
My dog is as playful as yours. My dog is as playful as yours.
この映画はの本と同じくらい面白い。
This movie is as interesting as the book. This movie is as interesting as the book.
あなたのアイディアは私のと同じくらい素晴らしい。
Your idea is as brilliant as mine. Your idea is as brilliant as mine.
彼女のプライドは富士山と同じくらいの高さです。Her pride is as tall as Mount Fuji. Her pride is as tall as Mount Fuji.
右の声は静香ちゃんのように美しい。
Miggy's voice is as beautiful as Shizuka-chan. Miggy's voice is as beautiful as Shizuka-chan.
その川はクリスタルのように透明だ。
The river is as clear as crystal. The river is as clear as crystal.
あなたのドレスは彼女のものと同じくらいエレガントです。
Your dress is as elegant as hers. Your dress is as elegant as hers.
そのケーキはのパイと同じくらい美味しい。
The cake is as delicious as that pie. The cake is as delicious as that pie.
彼の決意は鋼のように強い。
His determination is as strong as steel. His determination is as strong as steel.
そのお茶はコーヒーと同じくらい熱い。
The tea is as hot as coffee. The tea is as hot as coffee.
この曲はあのポップソングと同じくらいキャッチーだ。
This song is as catchy as that pop song. This song is as catchy as that pop song.
その子猫は
The kitten is as adorable as a teddy bear. The kitten is as adorable as a teddy bear.
今夜の月は太陽と同じくらい明るい。
The moon is as bright as the sun tonight. The moon is as bright as the sun tonight.
そのスープはメインディッシュと同じくらい美味しい。
The soup is as tasty as the main dish. The soup is as tasty as the main dish.
あなたの絵は写真のように鮮やかだ。
Your painting is as vivid as a photograph. Your painting is as vivid as a photograph.
この湖は海と同じくらい深い。
This lake is as deep as the ocean. This lake is as deep as the ocean.
そのデザートは緻密のように甘い。
The dessert is as sweet as honey. The dessert is as sweet as honey.
彼の忠誠心は岩のようにしっかりしている。
His loyalty is as firm as a rock. His loyalty is as firm as a rock.
空は海のように青い。
The sky is as blue as the sea. The sky is as blue as the sea.
シンディの髪はシルクのように柔らかい。
Cindy's hair is as soft as silk. Cindy's hair is as soft as silk.
この冬は冷凍庫のように寒い。
The winter is as freezing as the freezer. The winter is as freezing as the freezer.
ゲラ英会話は前より面白くなかった。
GeLa English was not as funny as it is now. GeLa English was not as funny as it is now.
この料理はカレーと同じくらい辛い。
This dish is as spicy as that curry. This dish is as spicy as that curry.
彼の勇気は宙のように広大だ。
His courage is as boundless as the universe. His courage is as boundless as the universe.
このアイスクリームは木のように冷たい。
The ice cream is as cold as snow. The ice cream is as cold as snow.
その小説は探偵物語のように魅力的です。
The novel is as captivating as a detective story. The novel is as captivating as a detective story.
その都市は東京と同じくらい賑やかだ。
The city is as lively as Tokyo. The city is as lively as Tokyo.
あなたの笑顔は太陽のように輝いている。
Your smile is as radiant as the sun. Your smile is as radiant as the sun.
このオレンジはリンゴほど甘くない。
This orange is not as sweet as the apple. This orange is not as sweet as the apple.
彼女は彼女の友人ほど速く走らない。
She doesn't run as fast as her friend. She doesn't run as fast as her friend.
私の猫はあなたの犬ほど遊び好きではない。
My cat is not as playful as your dog. My cat is not as playful as your dog.
この話は、の映画ほど面白くない。
This story is not as interesting as that movie. This story is not as interesting as that movie.
彼の絵は、彼女のものほど素晴らしくない。
His painting is not as brilliant as hers. His painting is not as brilliant as hers.
その丘は山ほど高くない。
The hill is not as tall as the mountain. The hill is not as tall as the mountain.
彼が歌うのは、ジャイアンほど悪くない。
He doesn't sing as badly as John. He doesn't sing as badly as John.
その池は川ほど透明ではない。
The pond is not as clear as the river. The pond is not as clear as the river.
左のシャツは、右のシャツほど派手ではない。
Hillary's shirt is not as flashy as Miggy's. Hillary's shirt is not as flashy as Miggy's.
そのビスケットは、ケーキほど美味しくない。
The biscuit is not as delicious as the cake. The biscuit is not as delicious as the cake. His enthusiasm is not as strong as hers. His enthusiasm is not as strong as hers.
そのコーヒーはお茶ほど熱くない。
The coffee is not as hot as the tea. The coffee is not as hot as the tea.
この曲はあのポップソングほどキャッチーではない。
This tune is not as catchy as that pop song. This tune is not as catchy as that pop song.
そのウサギは猫ほど可愛くない。
The rabbit is not as cute as the kitten. The rabbit is not as cute as the kitten.
今日の雲は脳の太陽ほど明るくない。
The clouds today are not as bright as the sun yesterday. The clouds today are not as bright as the sun yesterday.
そのシチューはスープほど美味しくない。
The stew was not as tasty as the soup. The stew was not as tasty as the soup.
あなたのスケッチはほど鮮やかではない。
Your drawing is not as vivid as the painting. Your drawing is not as vivid as the painting.
その池は湖ほど深くない。
The pond is not as deep as the lake. The pond is not as deep as the lake.
そのチョコレートは緻密ほど甘くない。
The chocolate is not as sweet as honey. The chocolate is not as sweet as honey.
彼の約束は彼女のものほど固くない。
His promise is not as firm as hers. His promise is not as firm as hers.
今日の空は
The sky today is not as blue as yesterday. The sky today is not as blue as yesterday.
あなたのスカーフはシルクほど柔らかくない。
Your scarf is not as soft as silk. Your scarf is not as soft as silk.
この夏は冬ほど寒くない。
This summer is not as cold as the winter. This summer is not as cold as the winter.
ゲラ英会話は、仕事ほど面白くない。
GeLa English is not as hilarious as Yoshimoto. GeLa English is not as hilarious as Yoshimoto.
このピーマンは、チリほど辛くない。
This pepper is not as spicy as that chili. This pepper is not as spicy as that chili.
彼の知識は、彼女のものほどではない。
His knowledge is not as much as hers. His knowledge is not as much as hers.
左半身は、右半身ほど面白くない。
Hillary is not as funny as Miggy. Hillary is not as funny as Miggy.
いかがでしたか？全部日本語から一緒に考えた人、お疲れ様でした。そして聞き流しながら作業をしていた人もお疲れ様でした。寝ながら聞いてた人はこれを聞く頃には寝てるかな？お疲れ様でございました。この英語シャワー、大変ご好評をいただいております。いつもよりクスクスポイントは少ないんですが、ぜひ必要なトレーニングだと思って何度も視聴してみてくださいね。1回だとなかなかね、身につかないと思うので。この英語シャワーシリーズは概要欄に再生リストを載せておくので、ぜひチェックしてみてくださいね。本日も最後までご視聴ありがとうございました。Thank you very much for watching our lesson. See you in our next video. Bye for now.
隙間時間でできる英語の学習アプリサイトラができました。英語の語順感覚を身につけて英語のを鍛えるサイトトランスレーションを今なら30レッスン分無料で学習することができます。サイトラアプリで検索するか、この動画の概要欄のリンクをクリックしてダウンロードしてくださいね。
このチャンネルは右半身左半身現役英会話講師による面白くて楽しい英会話学習チャンネルになってるんだよ。だからまずはチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。